Okay, so I'm getting this plot ready for spring slash summer planting. I'm in Florida, zone 9A, which is northwest Florida, closer towards the Alabama area. Um, so this is about a 20 by 50 plot that I've been growing in. The first time I grew was the fall season, which I did till the ground in. I do not plan on continuing to keep tilling, but I did till the ground initially, and I really had no experience in doing in-ground planting. Got a little bit more experience, excuse my junky garden, but in raised beds, but not um, in-ground. So this will be my first spring in-ground, and I did not know that I needed to pretty much kind of make beds in the in-ground. And what you're doing is pretty much kind of healing, creating a mound and little pathways between there. I just went and straight planted into the ground, but you can see this is the last of the fall garden stuff, which I just couldn't bring myself to pull it yet, so I'm gonna let it stay. So I'm gonna go in between these rows, but in doing so I caught myself putting down some straw mulch, but it decomposed pretty quickly. It got down into the soil really quickly. The weeds came up and I could not control the weeds. So in the summer and spring, when weeds really do grow really well, um, I'm going to combat that. And this time I watched a few videos on how to start a bed. And so what I've done so far is started tilling here. But I've already started here. And here's one row that I created pretty much like a mound. So this soil is kind of compacted. Well, not kind of, is compacted. It's really good soil, as you can see. Um, I've had soil testing, and there's not much amendments that I really need, but when it rains, it does compact down. And if you can see that, it does do that. So I need to keep it loose when it's wet, it's compacted. I need to keep it loose. So I'm going to be amending the soil. And how one of the ways of doing that would be to put down mulch. So I've ordered a chip drop, and I'm just waiting on that to come. But in the meantime, what I'll do is put some type of either weed barrier in between the rows. I really don't want to use weed barrier. I may put cardboard and then a chip drop on top of it, and that will help me during the summer, keeping the rows pretty much cleaned and free of weeds. And then also I'll be mulching my mounds also to help. But pretty much I got a 1 foot walkway between here, which I probably would need 2 feet, but because my plot isn't that huge, I'm gonna go with 1 feet. So pretty much what I did was mound this up. Some of this stuff has to come out or it's gonna regrow. But what I'm gonna do to help with that is I already started on this side. This is gonna be my tomato one. I have 16-foot cattle panel on here, 16 by 50, I believe, on some posts, and I've already started covering this row up to kill off whatever weeds that is left. I'm going to kill it off with this weed fabric, and then I'm going to pull this weed fabric up. And like I said again, I'm going to put mulch in between here. I'm going to amend my beds, basically my in-ground beds, with a little bit of compost. That's all I really need. And I'm going to use rice hull to help build the soil up, how to kind of loosen the soil. And over time, the soil will be a lot more loose. I can add a little sand to it, which I don't need to. And again, like I said, the soil is really great. It's just, it needs a little bit more amendments in there, mulch and stuff to help break up the compactedness of the soil. It's really good soil. Um, and that's what I'm going to do for the spring and summer garden. Um, I wanted to use the land because it's pretty good for one, and I have quite a bit of it that I can use. And so learning to use what I already have. I don't want to keep hauling in dirt, but I did learn something different over this winter with my winter fail garden is again, create the beds, create the channels. It helps with water drainage, so the water won't just sit, and in a lot of spots was low areas, so water would sit and some things wouldn't grow right. Right now I have garlic in here. I'm hoping these garlic will bub up. I put them down in the wintertime, and so I'm hoping they will bub up. They're growing really well so far, so I'm staying away from those and not actually pulling those up, which will help my spring garden keep pests away. And then but I've learned what I'm going to do is anything that grows up out the ground, as far as fruits and vegetables, I'm going to plant over here. Anything that I grow in ground, tubers, carrots, root vegetables, I'm going to put in the raised beds. So I have more control of drainage over here. The soil is way more looser in here so that the root vegetables can grow really well. And it won't be compacted down versus over here in the ground. So next year, none of my garlics probably be out here. I would probably plant green onions or something like that, or leeks over here, because that grows up out the ground and it's not actually a root vegetables like garlic and onions. So I lost a lot of my onions because I planted them over here and the weeds took over. So I'm not going to have a big onion harvest this year like I hope to have, but you cannot even see where I even planted onions up in here. The weeds overtook it, so that's a lesson learned. Weeds will choke out your your onions. So that's what happened here. It choked them out completely. I don't have any onions that's gonna grow anywhere down in here. And that's 20-foot rows. These are 20-foot rows. So I lost a lot of that. I still have kale that's thriving, so I'm not gonna take it up. And I still have collard greens that's thriving, so I'm not going to take that up. I did take up 2 rows of it and just left that 1 row and only had 1 row of kale. So pretty much this is what I got going on. I'm just prepping the garden now. Today is February the 17th, I believe, and so I'm just getting ready. Usually around the first week of March, we can plant out in Zone 9B, 9A, Florida. But with the crazy weather that we've been having lately, we got snow again this year. We got snow last year, but we didn't get as much snow as we did last year. But our seasons, I noticed, is starting to kind of change a little. This weekend, we're going back down into the 30s for a couple of days. So we're having our fall spring right now. So you definitely don't want to plant nothing out then. They say a good rule of thumb is to wait till Good Friday, but Good Friday is well into April. For us, that doesn't apply because technically we can start growing like after the first 2 weeks of March. And I don't want to miss out on that opportunity to get a kind of head start. I do have seedlings growing in my greenhouses to come out here, but they're not quite ready to be out here yet, so I kind of timed it that way. But they will be definitely ready by the 2nd week of March, and that's when I'll do my planting out. But until then, I got to get these beds done, this mulched out, this is the soil amended, get it all ready for when those seedlings are ready to come out. So what I will be planting out here, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do in this row yet. I was thinking more marigolds, but I think I'm going to interplant my marigolds with my tomatoes and basils and stuff like that. I probably put basil on this back row here, which would be great because my rows are facing north and south, which is great because every plant gets some sunlight. But in the afternoon, the tomatoes are going to be here in the back, so they're going to be kind of taller. They'll kind of help shade out some of that afternoon sun from those basils or whatever I put over here, and that will help, prolong the life of that, because too much sun is terrible. And as you can see, it's cloudy today, but I have no trees or anything that could block sun. I have straight sun out here. And so what I'll be planting out here would be tomatoes, cucumbers, bush beans, squash, zucchini, peppers, all that'll go out this way. Some herbs, and maybe a few flowers, not much other than marigolds. But I do have other flowers that's going to other places in the raised beds. And that's what I'll be planting out here in this area. And just stay tuned with me, and when I'll do another video when it's time to start planting. So have a great day, and thanks for watching.